Alright, welcome back to another retro play. I think that's what I'm going to call them for now on retro plays. On Retro Gaming Dad, we do there's actually no schedule. Then we do a podcast, me and my daughter. She's 7, about to be 8 in July. So it's fun getting her view on some of these older games. She doesn't like a lot of them. She pretends she does, but she doesn't like a lot of them. But today, we're playing a very strange game indeed in the history of Nintendo. Look at the Hulkster and all his pixel glory. Looks like a geriatric, angry man. I mean, I guess that's what he is, but... Wrestlemania. And I say this is a strange game. Well, first of all, because of all this. Setting up the playing is just like, what is this? Let me... You know, so we're one player. We're just going to be standard. And we'll do tournament. Okay, we're good enough. Alright. We all know the big old G-dubs. Oh, I mean, we're gonna... I always like Bam Bam because he did do the little cartwheels. You know, I'm gonna have to go for the man, the Macho Man. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. So interesting fact about this game. Well, besides it sucking, but this is definitely one of those games where you just want it to like it. It's WWF, it's wrestling, you love wrestling, but it's not fun. It's actually really weird. But you double tag and you just go against the rope. Hold it. There you go. Ring. When I got this game again, it's not something I planned on getting, but this was the last game that I got at Video Game Exchange in Madison, Wisconsin. We were there visiting. Marcella my daughter was only, she was fairly young. I mean, she was still the age, well, she's still grabbing shit off the shelves in stores, but she was really young. She was like crawling around. We let her crawl around, and I don't think I was actually buying Nintendo games, buying a few just to play. I had a Nintendo. This is actually before I sold it again, but Lance, went to go see Lance, check out the location. I don't think I've been to that location yet, and we grew up at Video Game Exchange, me and my brother, from middle school, Atwood Avenue, Madison, Wisconsin, Video Game Exchange. The owner is a great dude, Lance. Always had the games for us, always had the pre-order stuff early. I don't know how to pin. You know, he'd call somebody like, hey, you guys come get your games. It's like 3 days before it was supposed to come out. And it's like, alright. Always had a t-shirt. You know, I probably told this story in one of the podcasts, but... So, I grabbed a couple of Nintendo games. I grabbed this. Don't be grabbing shit, dude. I grabbed this, and he actually saw that there was a small crack in it. Well, I don't care about that. And so he actually gave it to me. He gave it to us with the other purchases. But, great place. If you live in Madison, or if you're visiting, great CD and music selection. Also, a lot of great things in the store. The store is incredible to get, or incredible to. And it's one of those places that they're not pricing you. They've always been selling these games. You know, this isn't a new store that decides to jump on the bandwagon because there's money to be made. Video Game Exchange has always been a place. Went from Atwood to East Wash, and I forget where it is now, but that's an easy Google search. But so the prices are great. I've only found one other place like that where I live now that is pricing games the way they should be priced. So go ahead and check that store out if you are in the area. Highly recommend it. Alright, I gotta figure out how to pin this guy. But it's nice because I love video store stickers on my games, and I actually have Video Game Exchange. It's not like a sticker, but it says Video Game Exchange on it, which is really cool for me because all the time right now. But yeah, it's cool to have a sticker of a store that I grew up on, and I love that store. You know, I wish I could find a rental game that had like Century Foods and Video Adventures. That'd be awesome. But back to this game. Back to the game at hand. First of all, I don't know how to pit. I don't have the instruction booklet. I could look it up, but we're not going to go that far. I'll figure it out. There's only 2 buttons. It's got to be one of the buttons doing something. Right now we're just headbutting and kicking nothing. He's being weird. It's a strange game. I don't know if this is the... I highly doubt this is the first wrestling. No, Muscle. Actually, I think. It's because it's the... Muscle is not only the first wrestling game, but I think the first licensed... No, third-party game. So, Muscle Wrestling. Remember the little muscle figures? I love the little muscle figures. I still have my muscle... Well, half of them. I've bought 100 out of the 200 I had. But I love Muscle. But that game's also very disappointing. So, it's not the first wrestling game. And it is, I think all the WWF games are LJN games. Though this one is Acclaim, but Acclaim is, you know, pretty much LJN. Is LJMN. So, it's not very good. None of the wrestling games are really that good. Except for Pro Wrestling, obviously. Tecmo World Wrestling. I own this, and I own the next one, I think Superstars. I don't have Steel Cage, I don't think. Maybe we do. But we also have the WCW one. And they're all crap. It's like they didn't know yet. They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't do the wrestling yet. There's my music. Here we go. All of them, even the Super Nintendo. I remember the WrestleMania for Super Nintendo when it came out. It looked great. The best part was listening to the theme music, though, at the selection screen, because it sounded cool. The game itself sucked. It took till the Nintendo 64 to have a game that was fun. That was wrestling. It wasn't fighting. It was wrestling for us. This is just kicking you. I don't even know if you can body slam. I just press both buttons at once. You would think that would do something, but no, it doesn't. It's just kick and punch. I don't even know how to get on the top rope. I'm Macho Man. There we go. I mean, it didn't do anything. I failed, but I wonder what the time expired, or when the time limit expires. I guess we'll find out. There's got to be a way to pin that I'm just not looking at. Stop grabbing that shit. Alright, it's getting down to the point where I should be able to pin him soon. He's like, I think he's trying to run. If I hold down the button, it's not start. Maybe it's select. No. See, then I just keep getting health back. And we're back to a rematch. I don't know. This is another Nintendo example. You know, I've been talking about this in our podcast a little bit. I was talking about it a little bit with our last playthrough. If you remember our last retro play, I was so great I actually broke Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I glitched it out and then I made it so you couldn't play anymore. I don't know what I did. My skills were like Neo. I was the one. I broke the code. But this is one of those games that you got for Christmas. You wanted it. Okay, look at right here. Look at the screen, and you picture this as a Nintendo Power picture. There's a wrestling ring. There's Macho Man. At this time, Ted DiBiase, that's when he bought off Earl Hebner, pretended there were plastic surgery, used the twins to look like there was. He had a referee. He paid a referee to alter his face to look like Earl Hebner, even though it was his twin brother. And he cheated Hulk Hogan out of the world belt. See, I'm old. I remember that stuff. And Andre went after the belt, and so Ted DiBiase was in the picture at the time. Ted DiBiase was in the picture for a long time. He's one of those underrated wrestlers. But you saw this picture, and you see WrestleMania on the ring. You see the wrestling ring looks nice. The wrestling ring's fine. There's no audience. You're wrestling in some void. But it's Nintendo. You knew what it can do. I don't know the date to this game. I'm guessing it's pretty early. All right, so you saw this in Nintendo Power. It's a picture. Maybe someone brought it to school. You don't have the subscription. Maybe you saw it and someone brought it to school, and you read it. And you know Nintendo Power is just pimping it. Like, it's just, this is the wrestling of the future, blah, blah, blah. You take the action of the WWF and put it in your Nintendo card. You know, they don't tell you LJN. You know, they're not, they're selling you it. So you see this as a kid. I don't know what the cover is. I think the cover is just the same as the screen with Hulk Hogan. Excuse me. And so you go to the store, or you see it in the Sears catalog, and you're like, Mom, this is what I want. Mom, Dad, this is what I want. I love wrestling. This is what I want. And Christmas morning comes along, maybe a birthday, and you open it up, and you're excited. You know, you're looking through the instruction booklets that even say you went to go get it. You're on your way home, you open it up, you're looking through that instruction booklet. Everything looks cool. And you pop it in, and it's complete trash. But you're trying to tell yourself that it's not. This is fun. This is just like wrestling. No, it's not. Right? This is not wrestling. This is no better than the Double Dragon 2-player fighting game that they just kind of like added in on the Nintendo version of it. It's trash. The best part is listening to the music. I'm guessing that's before the money. I don't think Ted DiBiase had a theme before the money theme. So everybody's got a price. I mean, it's just not cool. Imagine if this garbage. I mean, look at games like Cyberpunk that come out, and it's garbage, and it's so bad that the PlayStation removes it from the store. Like, your game's gotta be pretty bad for the company to be like, we don't want this even on our store. It is stinking it up. You know, look at the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. They released the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer. Sonic looked like crap. He looked stupid. He looked like garbage. What did they do? The internet went wild. And they changed it. They patched up Cyberpunk. There's a couple games that's what's sad. There's a couple games that are an example of this happening. And they just released this trash. But back then, you don't have that platform to speak of. You know, you could take it back to the store, but chances are stores will be like, no, we're not taking this back. You opened it. They didn't cater to people whining and bitching on the internet back then, because there wasn't that thing. Nowadays, you take this back to the store and they're like, no. You're gonna go on Google or Yelp and you're gonna make a big old thing about it, make a YouTube video, and then the store has to apologize. The guy was a little rude, so you're gonna. You called me a Karen or something. It's like, no, this game sucks. I was sold on this falsely, thinking that it was going to be good, and it's not. And I want my money back. This is complete trash. I don't even know how to pin this man. It's got to be something. There's only 2 buttons. But yet here I am. He's just walking back and forth like a boob. There's not even a difficulty. So we're gonna have a 4th rematch. And then he has no strength, and he gets up so fast I don't have a chance to press the buttons to test it. I don't know what to do here. And so I can't imagine having this. This is so frustrating. I don't think we own this. I believe we rented this. I think one of our friends, Raphael, had this. Not the Ninja Turtle. We did not hang out with the Ninja Turtle. But you want to like it. It's all you got. It's what you had. You know, when you're a kid, you actually fool yourself into thinking of these games are cool. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. Don't get me wrong. I love Nintendo. But I am not blinded by that wanting to relive this era. You know, I am willing to admit that this, and I think we have like 206 games. I would say 80% of those games are complete garbage. Not garbage. Okay, I wouldn't say that. They're not complete garbage. But they are like this. This is just, you can put it in, you can play a little bit. And like, okay, I'm going to look at the shelf right now. I'm not going to get up. I don't want to move. Alright? I'm not going to move out of the way. But Zelda, because it's shining gold. Final Fantasy, but you have to be into RPGs. That's, you know, and I can't even say the same thing for Dragon Warrior 1. You can be into RPGs. Dragon Warrior 1 is slow. Like, you have to be, like, when you're a kid, you don't know what you're getting into. Unless you're playing those kind of games, I think, from a book. It's, you know, the die and all that. Alright, Mappy Mouse. That's something I can pop in and play. Obviously, Chip and Dale, DuckTales, let's go out saying. Okay, I'm looking at Narc, for instance. Narc is a really, really fun arcade game. Narc on a Nintendo is pretty close. But it's got to sacrifice a few things because of the controller. And it's not that fun. And that's another thing. They wanted to ramp up the difficulty. And you know why? Because it was greed. And a lot of the games that you see that did that is after the rental stuff went through. All that stuff with them arguing with the renting. All, you know, they wanting to stop them. They actually got them for a little bit with the copyright of the translating the manual or something, and so they had to come up with their own stuff. That's why you have the plastic cases, because there was no laws against what was going on with the video games, but you can't take someone's book and then, you know, rent it out like that. You can't do that. So that's how they got them for a little bit. But then they came up with the cases and writing the stuff, the instructions into the book case, in the game case. I'm sorry, I'm looking at other things. So it's just, there's so many people who claim that, like, they'll just sit there and they'll talk about this is the best games, and there are Ninja Gaiden, Donkey Kong. There are those great games, but then there are those games where you get them and you think they're going to be great and you're so disappointed. Karate Kid's not a horrible game, but it's not exactly a great game either. Look at Friday the 13th. How did you fuck that up? And the fact that there was a Friday the 13th game and a Nightmare on Elm Street game is amazing. And actually, the Nightmare on Elm Street game, I actually enjoyed that one. That's one of those games that if you want them now, you're paying for it. It's for some reason like $80, maybe more now because people are crazy. But Friday the 13th, it's ridiculous. Like and all they had to do was fix the map. Really, that's all they really had to do. There are so many of these games that are like that. For every Mario, there's, I don't want to say Yo-Noid. I actually like Yo-Noid. But there's a Dizzy game. The Racket Attack, I think. Just a horrible tennis game for every good tennis. There's there's Tecmo Bowl. And this isn't really fair, but then there's 10-Yard Fight. 10-Yard Fight, it's pretty early. I mean, then you have games like Punch-Out and Logi Man. Great games. And you had this library when you were little. You didn't have a huge library, unless you were one of them spoiled little rich kids. You didn't have a huge library of games. I think we had maybe 32 at the most. And like I said, we got a lot of our games. Like I said before in one of the previous videos we've done, we got a lot of our games free from a video store because my mom knew the owner and she worked there. You know? So a lot of our games, like some of our best games, Mario 3, we didn't have to buy it. Ninja Turtles, we didn't buy it. You know, we probably wouldn't have had those games. A lot of those games. It's not like we were rolling in the dough or nothing. You know, we were lucky to have our Nintendo, and you're lucky to have those, what, 11 games? 8 of those games are something you don't even want to play, but you have to play because that's what you have. I don't even know how many PlayStation games. If I just added up PS3, PS4, and PS5, I probably have like 2,000 games. I mean, they have $5 sales. You know, you're sitting there buying games that you play for a little bit, grab a trophy, and you just delete it. I have so many games, I haven't even played some of them. Hey, look at it! I body slammed him! I have no idea what I did. But it gives me hope. I'm just gonna jam those buttons. There's gotta be a way to pin them. It's wrestling. Stop running. There's no running in wrestling. Well, we got the ropes, maybe. I'm trying to, like, get by their feet or something. Maybe that's how. I want to body slam him again. How did I do that? I have no idea. Oh, there we go, there we go! Boom! I just tossed his ass. He's like a little chunky. I mean, if I was Ted DiBiase, I'd be like, what the hell, man? Am I fat? It's so clunky. Like, it's so clunky. The computer spends more time running away from you. Pin him! Ninja kick the damn rabbit! I have no idea. And they just keep gaining health back, too. We're gonna have, what is this, the 6th rematch? Oh, you gotta buy something even... Oh, the buy sign took a lot of energy off. Too bad we're about to... Time limit expire. I don't even do time limits in wrestling anymore. I still remember back in the day you'd be watching and they're fighting outside the bell rings. The time limit has expired. The referee calls it a draw. If I could just figure out how to pin the guy, I think I could win. Oh, 3 minutes. We get 3 minutes, I think. Yep. Well, that is a look at WrestleMania. It's not a good game. It really isn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this... I didn't have this... We did not own this. We rented this probably once, and that's all it took. Never rented again. But you know what's really weird is my daughter actually likes this game. She doesn't get anywhere in it. She doesn't even like wrestling that much. She knows some wrestling because I watch wrestling. But... it's not a fun game. And if this was something people were still buying, I would not recommend it. But if you're buying NES games, you're probably buying everything you find, or at least things you want to play. But I'm going to tell you, if this is not what you're doing, and you remember liking this game, I'm going to tell you, you're wrong, and this is not a good game. So skip it. If you're building your collection, just want it in your library, I wouldn't go over $8 for this game. I think it was 4 at Video Game Exchange he has listed, but this is not before the retro game craze, but it's early, and I got it for free. So again, thanks Lance, thanks Video Game Exchange, shout out to Video Game Exchange. Check it out if you're in Madison, Wisconsin. Google the address. Follow them on Facebook. I know they're on Facebook because I follow them. And tell them Gabe sent you. Thanks for joining me.